Cover crops are planted crops that occupy the field during times when the soil surface would otherwise be free of living vegetation and susceptible to water and wind erosion. In this video, we will hear from Pennsylvania farmers why cover crops planted after corn silage benefit their farming operation. We will learn that cover crops provide many benefits. These benefits include protecting soil from water and wind erosion, improving water infiltration, often making more water available to future crops, improving soil structure, and helping build soil organic matter, two keys for more successful continuous no-till production, capturing plant nutrients that might otherwise contaminate groundwater supplies, making them available to future crops, and supplementing forage needs when harvested in the fall or early spring. Let's now hear what these farmers say about cover crops.
We're primarily a shale. Our soils are a Glen Elg and a Chester. This farm is mostly Glen Elg. My farm on the other side of 83 is mostly Chester soil. And not the very top soils, but real good soil. And it drains well, it absorbs water well, it drains well, and it's very productive soil.
Of our 1,200 acres, we're about half and half shale versus limestone. Maybe a little heavier on the shale. Our home farms here, our base is in the shale ground. There's advantages to having slate. There's no rocks to run into. It's easy to farm. It's oftentimes hillier, but you can deal with that. In our limestone ground, it's rocky, so you're banging things over. I find myself planting a lot. Well, we chop most of our corn here on our shale ground just because it's nearby here. And so that's where our cover crops go.
We probably started using cover crops in 2001 pretty heavily. We were only doing like the fields that were going in corn and not hay, and walking out in our fields that did not have cover crop at the time, you could see soil washing away.
In 1996, largely because I observed after intense rainfalls that there was puddling, lots of water accumulations on the field from the corn silage harvest, that we needed to do something to condition these soils better for water percolation.
We have a soil called Opequan. It's a shallow limestone soil. I can't show you any rock outcroppings right here, but we have rock outcroppings. This hill, when we go more than a week without rain in the summer, things start to go the other direction on us. So basically it's a shallow soil issue.
We get these heavy rains, a couple inches in an hour or whatever, and with our type of ground here with the rolling hills, even flat fields will wash for that matter, but with the rolling hills especially, when it has a cover on there, it keeps the soil into place, and that's where we want it.
Well, number one, if you do have a cover crop there, break up the raindrops a little bit and slow them down. If you've got roots in the ground, it's going to hold the soil tight.
It, number one, has improved percolation. We're capturing nearly all the precipitation on these fields except for when the fields are frozen.
If you've got organic matter present, it's going to aggregate the soil. That lets it absorb a lot better and retain. And I know from visual past that you get a good healthy soil and the water just will be absorbed right in versus a tilled soil that is fine particles and the water just runs right off.
We've had a couple hard rain events in the past years, a couple years in the spring, and I mean it was like a 2-inch downpour within a half an hour to 45 minutes, and the water that ran off the field was clean.
A number of people have done a soil loss calculation based on our rotation here, what it is today, even before we did quite this amount of cover cropping, but now with this, and our soil loss is less than 1 ton per acre per year, which is very acceptable. Typically now on a shallow soil, actually 1 ton is all you want to allow. But typically soil erosion on most of our land is even acceptable as 3 or 4 tons. So our soil loss is very low.
We've had a couple of years that our pastures got short, and we were looking for alternatives to graze dry cows and heifers. And on some of our fields, we strung some temporary fencing around them, electrified it, turned the cattle out, and had just great luck with fall grazing. If you know, good conditions, good management, compaction, hoof traffic is not a problem.
It's amazing how it takes the traffic. You don't come in here with muddy or anything like that when you come in with decent weather and stuff, and it comes through it all right. And we have seen in the year past, we've done it when it's wet, and you could see where the tractor tracks were across the field, and you could see the corn rows, but as the year went on, corn rows seemed like they evened out. It's like they just caught up with what was beside it. And then we can figure it just got through the compaction from the roots of the cover crop being in there.
We're hauling dairy manure out on these fields, and we're using 2 trucks. One is a 5,000 gallon slurry tank, and the other is a 6,000 gallon slurry tank. We noted before we started using the cereal rye that we had to live with those tracks, those compacted tracks, the next crop year. With cereal rye, these tracks are almost completely dissipated or unnoticed through the crop year following cereal rye. Cereal rye is probably one of the most forgiving surfaces. It's most forgiving soil conditioner for running this heavy equipment and traffic over the fields.
There's as many microbes per acre to weigh as much as a cow. They eat as much as a cow. You need to feed your microbes.
I'm not a biologist by any means or anything, but I know that I've been to enough education meetings where I hear getting the organic matter up and getting carbon in the soil and all those issues. The cover crops provide it makes the soil healthier, and they tell me soil's living, and I believe that, and we're feeding the microorganisms that are living in there.
The use of cover crops and interseeding to improve soil quality and soil health is very much paramount in our minds. I track soil organic matter pretty frequently, and we can't get much over 3% soil organic matter even after 30 years of no-till, because we need more diversity, we need more carbon in our system.
There is more going on under the surface than there is on top of the surface.
As time progressed, the soil conditions started to improve, soil structure improved, percolation improved, and then we started noticing the organic matter on our soil sample, our soil test coming up, and we have some fields now that have organic matter in the 5% range, and we had started around 1.5%.
Our organic matters have increased considerably over the last couple soil tests, last 3 to 4 years. And our soil tests, I mean, we chop everything, and our organic matter, we're running 3 to 5 in our organic matter in most of our soils.
You see the benefit of the organic building. You see the benefit of the softer textured soil, the soil life, the aggregation of the soil, the tilth, and that the crops do better.
Every type of forage that we do in terms of what we sell is forage tested. We usually wait about 2 weeks after we harvest and wrap to do forage testing, so a farmer knows exactly what they're getting in the way of quality and protein and so forth. I don't think we really changed many dairy farmers as far as what they want for their milking ration. They want pure alfalfa. But they're using some of this in other ways on the farm, and we've also sold some forages to beef cattle producers as well. And of course, they have dry cows. The dairy guys have dry cows to feed something to, and it's a little cheaper forage because we can produce it a little cheaper.
Last couple of years, we put away for heifers. Didn't really put away for the milk cows, but next year we're thinking we're going to probably put this away for milk cows also.
It all comes out of the same sow, and yeah, we feed the cows, and the same silage gets fed to replacements. And I also feed some steers, and that gets fed to the same the same silage gets fed, maybe in a little different blend, but yes, all those cover crops get fed to the cows.
We manage our rye with two objectives, and that is cover the soil, give us all these advantages of the cover crop. And then secondly, we have that option if we're short of feed, we can come through and harvest it for a forage. This last year we harvested 200 acres and fed it largely to our dry cows and heifers. It tested anywhere from 14 to 16% protein, still made excellent feed, and we were happy to have it.